Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Taste of Reality. My name is Queenie. For those who don't know me, reviewing Love is Blind Season 2, Episode 6. I've only seen 6 and 7. So whatever I say is not going to be diluted with the rest of the season. So sorry if I'm saying some things that are no longer relevant, but you're just going to have to work with me here, okay? Before I get into it, as always, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and let's get into it. So we're going to start with Danielle and Nick because they are an absolute train wreck and I feel like they should break up. But we're going to talk about them. She is aware that her biggest downfall is that she is an overthinker. And Nick, for some whatever reason, is like, oh, it's okay. I like that. Yeah, it's not going to be cute when she's always making assumptions, when she's always accusing you for things that you did not do because she's in her head too much.
I know you, I know me. You're just like me. And when I want him closest, I tend to push him away.
Miss Wendy, Danielle's mom, drives home the point that Danielle has been the reason why her past relationships have failed. And I'm literally at every point, there's red flags for this relationship and somehow they're not picking it up. And I'm just like, why? What's going on? Why are they glossing over the problems? Because if this woman is an overthinker, she's already accused you of talking to other people. She clearly has a lot of body issues that is going to take her some time to work past. He is very sensitive with her. They're very short with each other at times, and then they're able to flip it as if nothing happened. It's red flags across the board. At least it would be for me, but apparently they like it, so At the table, they're very open to talking about sex. Even the siblings were throwing in some questions, and I was like, wow, okay.
So how sexually active are you guys?
No. What?
Lord. It's a serious question.
Okay.
Whoa.
Not how.
It's getting hotter out here.
It's a serious question.
I found it so interesting how the family is very open, and she's open with them. The family is very open to communicating about stuff that might be uncomfortable, yet Danielle herself tends to jump to conclusions, tends to assume, tends to overthink. And I'm like, where was the disconnect here? Because if your family fosters such an open and honest environment, why can't you implement that in your relationships? Where is the disconnect? It's not making sense for me. A lot of the issues that she's had with Nick can be easily resolved by having a conversation. But she always just wants to guess instead of ask. And it's not making sense. Not too long after, they're walking on a bridge or something like that, and she's like, oh yeah, I want you to know all my flaws and whatever, right? Which is fine, but I feel like she's emotionally dumping on him just to kind of find, like, is he gonna run away, so that she has justification when he does. If he does run away, she's like, see, just like the rest of them. Well, girl, who was trying to stay for that? You're using these people as your therapist, and that's not their position in your life. You're using these people as punching bags for your trauma, and that's not their position in your life. So if this is how she's been in past relationships, I don't blame her exes for leaving. I don't. They are having a conversation about how the meeting went, and she's upset because she felt like she was very enthusiastic about the encounter with her family, but he wasn't giving the energy that she expected him to.
If we're gonna get married in 2 weeks, I'm not fucking around.
I didn't think you were until after my family. Like, that was the only time that I thought maybe you were. Because in the moment, I thought that you were being fake.
Did you ever think the world doesn't revolve around, like, you?
Oh, okay.
So because he didn't express happiness in meeting your family, and happiness, it's not even that he didn't express happiness. He didn't express happiness in the way that you wanted him to. So now he's going to leave you? Girl, if you don't get yourself together, these two were so quick to throw jabs at each other. I think was the word narcissist thrown in there? I think narcissist was thrown in the conversation. We come to find out that he was dealing with stuff in his own family, and that he has a history of feeling neglected by his family. So when there's issues happening, he kind of wants to resolve them quickly so that he's not in a bad place with them, which I guess I can understand, but they are a mess. They are a mess. They have mended fences, but we know that's not going to last long. Moving on to Deepthi and Shake. Deepthi is having a conversation with Shake's talking about, oh, my mama's going to be so happy. I feel like she manifested you. Okay. This is the first person that Deepthi is bringing home to her family. They have a belief that you only bring somebody who you're truly serious about wanting to marry. So obviously Shake would be the type to bring home. Immediately, they were so receptive to him.
Her dignity, her honor, her respect is yours.
Yeah.
And you have to keep that going. So that's what,
Oh.
yeah, I mean.
Oh, that'll be no problem.
So that's good. That's good.
The mom is sharing how she's surprised that Deepthi is so open to this process because it's kind of similar to arranged marriage, but she's always been opposed to arranged marriage. She's also been opposed to brown guys. So it's like, girl, we would have been doing the same thing, but okay, whatever. Shake tells the family that he has never felt a connection like this and he's ready for marriage. You're ready to marry the woman who you said gave you auntie vibes. Okay. This is so unfortunate for me because there's a moment where Deepthi's mom gets really emotional because she's talking about her own marriage too and how her husband is her number one and how they've been through so much and love has prevailed and how she only wants that for Deepthi. And I'm like, girl, unfortunately for you, Shake is not the one. Shake is not the one. There's a glimmer of it even in the next episode. And I was like, yeah, Shake is an ass. I'm so sorry. No, I'm actually not sorry. He's just an ass. He's an ass. He presents well to the family. So maybe I'm just being a pessimist. Like maybe he'll get over it. I also haven't seen episode 8 and 9. So I could be speaking prematurely. But right now he's an ass and I'm not a fan. Ayanna and Jared are next, and Jared at his apartment has a watch holder that was given to him by his ex, and it puts Ayanna on edge, mainly because of his conversation saying that he doesn't really close doors all the way with exes, and also how he had interacted with Mallory back in Mexico.
I don't believe in keeping gifts from exes. I don't believe in staying friends with the exes. The fact that he has like a whole personalized gift is like weird. Ain't nothing in here. I've already seen how he is with Mallory. So it bothers me just a little bit.
Mallory is still at the forefront of their minds because when they're talking about children, Ayanna's having an insecurity that she might have been second choice because Mallory is more established in life and might be more prepared to have children or to be married, whereas she is still trying to figure things out.
My clock is ticking. I can't wait to have kids.
Is that why you almost chose Mallory? Because she's more established and she can just have kids?
No.
I mean, I have my opinions on why he wanted Mallory as the first choice, but I'm not going to get into it because I don't know him. And if he didn't say he would prefer the Latina, then I'm not going to put that on him. Okay, that's just my opinion. Salvador and Mallory are next, and Mallory meets his sisters, and the conversation of the love triangle pops up. She says she was always sure about her feelings for him and blah, blah, blah. And every time she talks, it just sounds fake.
I think he felt a lot more strongly than I did. Yeah, and so, but we talked about it, and it was so like reassuring all the time, and I was like, we're doing this together, like we got this, like this is where I wanted to be.
She claims that the whole situation about being split made her feelings for Sal really strengthen and that it made their trust so much stronger and their bond is unbreakable. I'm like, girl, I've never seen somebody try to convince so many people that their connection is strong, including herself. Because to me, it sounds like an overcompensation. And you know, when you overcompensate, it probably ain't as real or as true or as solid as you think it is. Shaina and Kyle. Shaina and Kyle. I'm looking at both of them like you was a damn fool. So she believes that Nick needs to meet her family in order for her to know for sure whether or not they're going to have, a future, right? And when he's asked if he wants to marry Shaina, he almost fumbles the bag because I'm like, sir, Kyle, you've already got a lot going against you. Why are you ruining it with the family?
Why do you want to get married to my sister?
So no one else gets you?
Do you just want to get married, or do you want to get married to her?
No, I would totally marry you.
You would?
Yeah, I
Are you
would.
going to?
We were planning on it. We're taking it one day at a time.
I left him in Mexico.
He brought up the fact that she up and left in the middle of the night, and the family is like, oh, well, lack of communication is a thing for Shaina. And I'm like, what? And the brother's like, you're just gonna have to get used to it. And I'm like, what? No, there's too many people on this damn show who either need therapy or character development, because I promise you, all marriage will do is emphasize the problems you already have. I don't know who told the people of today that marriage is going to fix your issues. It heightens them. I found it so interesting how the conversation was actually taking a turn for the better in Kyle's favor. And then the brother, basically the only person who was talking the entire duration of the meeting, was like, well, are you a godly man? And he's like, what is that? Meaning he's clearly not Christian, because everybody who's Christian knows what that means. But he's like, yeah, I'm open to Christianity, but you can tell that the God aspect of the relationship is definitely a deal breaker for her and the family.
She wants someone who's committed in her faith. That's what she wants more than anything. And I just don't think Kyle can give her that. I like Kyle. I just don't think Kyle's the one for her.
They're later reflecting on the meeting with the family, and he's like, oh, since we're going to get married, I want us to live together. That's a prerequisite for me before marriage. And she's like, I can't live with you because, like, you not being a Christian, it's just like, it's just not going to work for me.
What if our relationship was bigger than all of that?
But God is the biggest thing in my life. You don't get bigger than God. No one will ever be bigger than God in my life.
To me, it's a non-issue.
To me, it is.
I know.
So
Right,
we're gonna be coming back to the same spot.
How long have you felt like this?
To the beginning.
And again, I say, why accept the proposal? I completely understand Kyle thinking that in this day and age, something like religion wouldn't be a deal breaker for people. Literally, I experienced this not too long ago where I said to a person, I need my partner to be Christian. He was like, really? I didn't see this coming from you. What do you mean you didn't see this coming from me? The head of my household is going to be Christian. And that does not mean I have a problem with somebody being an atheist. But for somebody who's going to be in my life, it doesn't work. So I'm like, for him, I can understand because I've seen people have that ideology. But for her knowing that a Christian husband was a must, she should have never even entertained the conversation. And ultimately, that's where Kyle got confused, because they talked about Christianity relatively early on, and she still continued to pursue the relationship. So he was like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, which is kind of understandable. But then also, this is why communication, which now we have learned is not a strong suit of hers, is necessary. You need to express clearly and concisely why something is a deal breaker, why something isn't a deal breaker, what is needed in your relationship, because baby, you are now 2 engagements failed. And you try to hit on Shane later and that didn't work, but we're going to get to that in a minute. Shane and Natalie, last but not least, they're talking about how this is the best relationship they've ever been in, blah, blah, blah. She's like, you're all I've ever asked for, da, 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 da. He's like, oh, I want like a tux cape. And she's like, what? That's weird. But like, okay, sure. I'm speeding past it because I want to get to the beach. Before I get to that though, Natalie shows him her apartment and they agree that her place is too small for the two of them. But finances for them don't line up. And she's like, I'm okay being the primary breadwinner because that's what my mother was in her marriage.
I think if I wasn't in a good financial place, I would be a little bit more scared. And maybe that's like irresponsible for me to say, but I don't think we'll have the traditional family. My mom's the main breadwinner in my family. And so I was like mostly raised by my dad.
She says that she loves that he takes risks and that she might need that in her life. Baby, you're going to be on the streets. If you are going to let this man take risks in your marriage, you are going to be on the streets. She claims she's financially prepared to carry the relationship in that way. And I'm like, not for Shane. I'm sorry, not for Shane. There's a little bit of Shane in episode 7, where I was like, okay, he might be warming my heart a little bit, just a little bit. But yeah, I'm like, girl, I don't know if you want to put all your eggs in your basket like that. But also, if you are marrying them, I guess that's what you have to do. So maybe I'm the one who's tripping. Moving on to the beach, okay? The couples reconnect along with some of the other people we didn't get to see. We finally get to see Hasib. Oh, we get to see Hope. We get to see the other Indian woman. I forget her name. But in the mix is Shaina. And Shaina apparently contacted Natalie the night before.
She was just like checking in on how Shane and I were doing. And I was saying, you know, we're doing really well. And essentially she was like, I have someone to hook you up with if things don't work out with Shane.
Why would you say that? You're purposely trying to make somebody insecure about their relationship. And then you're confused why she's kind of territorial over her fiance when you're around. So Nick, being Nick, is going around looking for drama, and he's offered some tea on a silver platter by Shaina. And they're like, oh, she's so immature. She's so insecure about their relationship. I mean, you planted seeds. What else was she supposed to be?
Oh, she's insecure as fuck right now. No, Shane was my number one. I like Shane a lot.
There's so much to unpack here.
I know. I took a backseat to Natalie because Natalie was very loud that he was in love with her. But Shane was clearly into Natalie too, but Shane didn't know how I felt.
Then this woman wants to pull Shane aside and talk about how big of a mistake it was for her to connect with Kyle. And at first, I was looking at Shane like, Shane, this is your moment to really prove to us that you are a better man than you present. And he had us for a little bit, but he redeemed himself.
I want nothing but the best for you. I have nothing but love for you. Okay, I don't want to see you hurt. I care about you, and I don't want to put you guys in your guys' relationship in that light.
Wait, now you give the quotes to the. What's going on here?
Nothing.
You think I was fake?
It is such a joke. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings, but I'm just being real.
Why would you think that?
You guys are okay. I'll say it to anybody's face. It comes back down to like our compatibility. You and Natalie's relationship. I'm like, if you guys think you guys are compatible, that is comical.
Shane brings up the comment that Shaina told Natalie, and I've never seen somebody crumble under pressure so quick. She was like, she took it out of context. Like, do you need to bring her over here? I'm like, Shaina, girl, you got caught.
I go, well, if it doesn't work out, I got a friend for you. Okay, it was joking around. And I said something stupid, which looking back on it, I shouldn't have said it. And I'm so sorry, because again, I was with Kyle. Like, I have no vendetta against you and Natalie.
Like I said, Shane surprisingly redeemed himself. I didn't see that coming from him, but kudos to him. He stood up for his relationship. Shayna looks like an absolute dog. Kyle dodged a bullet, even though he shouldn't have even put himself in the crossfire to begin with. But hopefully, this is the last time we see her on our screens. I'm going to do episode 7 separately because this video is already too damn long. Maybe I'll post it on Monday. Maybe I'll post it today as well. We'll see how that goes. But like, comment, share, and subscribe as usual. We're on the road to 15K. Okay, help your sister out. And I'll see you guys in the next one.